Support for this podcast comes from the St. Alphonsus Neuroscience Institute, offering technology to provide treatment for neurological, neurosurgical, and neurointerventional conditions. This includes a dedicated neurotrauma ICU for critical care of the brain or spine and a 24/7 stroke team. More at stalphonsus.org.
Boise State Public Radio and Duck Club Entertainment present the Charlie Hunter Trio.
Charlie Hunter Trio, everybody.
Wednesday, March 18th at the Shrine Social Club in Boise. Blending jazz, funk, blues, and rock, Hunter is a guitarist, producer, and bandleader who will present his unique finger-picking technique on custom hybrid guitars. Tickets are available now at theduckclub.com.
From Boise State Public Radio, this is The Connector. It's Idaho's Daily News. Good morning. I'm George Prentice. With 165,000 people expected to go through the Boise Airport this week, what are local TSA workers saying, especially since they're not being paid? We've got that story. Plus, we'll tell you how a local school nurse, was laid off based on a coin toss. It is Monday, the 16th of March. Here we go with today's stories. Legislation adding further restrictions on what flags that local government entities in Idaho can display and penalizing governments that don't comply is one Senate vote away from the governor's desk. Troy Oppie reports.
Last year, the legislature passed a bill banning government entities from flying flags that were not official. The latest bill adds carve-outs in the flag display law for nation-state flags for special events, think the Basque flag for Hialdi, but it locks in governments to only displaying official entity flags that were official before 2023. Government entities that don't comply face penalties of $2,000 a day. The flag display law and the update apply across the state, but they target Boise's display of the Pride flag. The city made that flag official last year to legally continue flying it, as Boise has for more than a decade. Mayor Lauren McLean testified last month at a House committee and again on Friday, asking the Senate State Affairs Committee to reject the bill.
And it punishes us at the cost of every other city and county's rights.
The bill's sponsor and those testifying in support say it's about fairness, uniting under common flags and governments, not singling out political or religious groups. A motion to send the bill for amendments addressing how the bill restricts the city of Bonners Ferry from permanently displaying the Canadian flag, as it has for decades, failed on a 4-5 vote. Advancing the bill to the Senate floor with a due pass recommendation passed 7-2, with Democrat James Ruchte and Republican Committee Chair Jim Guthrie voting no. Troy Oppie, Boise State Public Radio News.
People braved rain and strong winds this past weekend to gather at the state capitol for Idaho Women's Day, and Jackson Holmes was there.
With our sister.
Saturday's event marked the 6th annual gathering since Idaho Women's Day was declared in 2020.
It was decided by the legislature that March 14th would be Idaho Women's Day to celebrate Idaho contributions from now until perpetuity. So many of the young women you see here today, perpetuity means their grandchildren, their granddaughters may come to a similar celebration just like this.
That's Marcia Bravo, a member of the Southwest Idaho chapter of the National Organization of Women, the group behind the event. She says the goal of the event is to create a space for positivity and celebration. This year's rally featured guest speakers from across the state. Muffy Davis is a Paralympic gold medalist and former Idaho State representative. She says women helped create the state's identity.
Our great seal of the state of Idaho, still in use today, was designed in 1891 by Emma Edwards Green. And if you look closely, you'll see something powerful. A man and a woman standing side by side, equal in stature. That image was intentional.
Davis says Idaho is the only state in the country where a woman-designed seal is still in use. Jackson Holmes, Boise State Public Radio News.
At the Capitol, another anti-vaccine bill surfaced at the legislature late last week, and similar to other anti-vax efforts in previous years, a good many people weighed in. In fact, this year's testimony stretched into 2 days. You may remember last year when the legislature passed a measure banning businesses from requiring people to get a vaccine. This year's bill, sponsored by GOP Representative Robert Baswinger of Horseshoe Bend, wanted to expand that bill, this time denying school districts or daycares from requiring childhood vaccines.
People should have the right to make their own medical decisions. The medical decisions are private. They're sacred. We protect medical records. Overall, I think we just need to get back to make America healthy again and support people's personal, individual rights to choose their own medication.
But critics said the new bill went several steps too far and could have ended up restricting access to medical care. Plus, they argued that Idaho parents can already exempt their children from vaccines. Here's GOP Representative Dory Healy, who also happens to be a nurse.
I think that the whole bill needs to be scrapped. This language removes the ability of local health districts to respond to health situations in their communities. I have so many concerns about this bill. It's not just about immunizations. It's about so much more, and I think it puts us at a huge liability.
Ultimately, the majority of the House Health and Welfare Committee agreed with Healy and voted to hold the bill in committee. That means it will be unlikely that it resurfaces again during this year's legislative session. For spring break this week, the Boise Airport expects to see 165,000 passengers traveling through its doors. But since mid-February, the federal government has been in a partial shutdown. Julie Lucata has an update for us now on what this all means for TSA employees at the airport.
Until Congress passes a Department of Homeland Security budget, essential agencies like FEMA, the TSA, and the Coast Guard are not being funded. This means employees have to continue doing their jobs without pay. Local TSA union representative Cameron Cochems says no Boise TSA employees have quit, but many are considering it.
People are having those conversations with their families and seriously considering other career opportunities.
It's been 30 days since they've received a full paycheck.
What that means for my coworkers is that they don't have the funds to pay for childcare. People are asking me for gas cards and gift cards to go to grocery stores. It means that people have to worry about how they're going to pay their bills.
Cocham says potentially losing career officers could mean longer wait times at the airport and security employees with less expertise.
And if this administration wants to run the government like a business, what businesses around the valley don't pay their employees for 2 months at a time? You know, businesses that go bankrupt. That's who.
TSA reports that during the latest shutdown, 300 employees have quit across the country. Julie Luqueta, Boise State Public Radio News.
Now to education and the Blaine County School District facing a budget shortfall, meaning reductions in force. And in the latest cut, it would be between a school nurse who was recently named the Idaho School Nurse of the Year and another district employee. And the nurse was laid off based on a towing cost. It turns out that in the Blaine County School District reduction in force procedure, when it comes down to 2 employees, it is decided by the toss of a coin. The Mountain Express says the school board will likely have to eliminate 16 positions to fix its budget shortfall. In addition to less state funding, the Blaine County School District is also facing rising insurance costs, a nearly 20% increase in their insurance premiums. And that is a Monday episode of The Connector. I'm George Prentice. You can listen to The Connector anytime at boisestatepublicradio.org or in the Boise State Public Radio app. I'll be back here Tuesday. I hope you will too. Thanks for listening.